What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode here on Fraser's Indie Talk. I'm AJ Fraser, and here we're going to be discussing our first indie comic of Season 2. Now, I know I wasn't here on the first opening season of of Fraser's Indie Talk, so I figured I let Shadow Shock kind of take the role for a little bit. But today, we're back to me, and we're doing our first indie comic of Season 2, and that is going to be Eclipse. So as you can see, I've got issue 1 here, and I've got issue 2 here. It's a very, very interesting story, and probably some have been the most creative ones that I have read and seen in quite some time. So, and I'm really glad I got my hands on it. Let's just kind of skip the chit-chat and let's get right into it, shall we? Alright, so Eclipse. I've got issues 1 and 2. And as usual, we're going to go in chronological order. So we're going to start with 1, kind of talk about what's going on here. So I also want to show off that I've also got a stock full here with variant covers, or at least a couple. Some of them he signed, the creator. But we'll get into that later. But right now, let's kind of talk about the book, shall we? Alright, so you open up the book. This is kind of what we're seeing here. It's already kind of jumping into it. So this guy right here is basically the Nick Fury of this universe. So Eclipse here. Eclipse is basically a Hawaiian superhero. Don't hear a whole lot about that. I mean, you hear about, whites and blacks and, such and such other heroes. But Hawaiian, this is probably the first that I've seen. So, and honestly, let's talk about his design of his suit. I really like the suit. It's basic, but yet creative. It goes along with what he does. Okay, and so we're gonna move forward here, and we'll talk a little bit more about him. So the thing I like about this story so far is that it basically explains Eclipse. Okay, a good beginning, great introduction. That's what I love. Talks about his weaknesses. He's affected by the lunar cycle. Lunar cycles, like here, it will make him weak. So that's why, or how he's facing this vigilant villain here. I forgot his name. Boulderfist. Yeah, Boulderfist. We'll just go with that. Got his butt whooped by him because he was affected by the lunar cycle. So, and so on and so forth. He's got a girlfriend who is a nurse. Yeah, she's Hawaiian. So, and this is going to be our bad guy that we're going to be talking about in a little bit. Want to point this out real fast. So a solar eclipse, it looks like it kind of makes him go mad. So we're kind of dealing with Mother Nature here. At the same time, we're dealing with the moon cycles all at the same time. This is what affects Eclipse on his powers and his weaknesses, his strengths. Very interesting, very interesting. Alright, so we've got a vigilante team that's sent out to go find Eclipse of wherever he's at. He's gotten a set appointment with the guy that you saw at the very beginning of the book. So, and then here we are introduced to the villain. His name is Solar Flare. It's a pretty cool name. Alright, we're skipping ahead here, kind of going to the end where we're going to meet back up with Eclipse in the story. And it leads off here. So moving on to the second issue. Issue 2. So it looks like Mike Seeley here, the creator of Eclipse here, has got some fan art. A lot of people really like this hero. I like this hero. I think he's absolutely cool. And what makes it more creative with this series is I love it when creators put this kind of stuff in here. They talk about the languages and stuff. Hawaiian language helps you understand more as to what the story's getting at too. So here we go. Let's continue. Okay, so this is kind of like basically the aftermath of the fight that happened at the volcano. Meeting up with his girlfriend here. They're on the beach, etc., etc. Main question we need to know is, who is Solar Flare? Why does I hope I'm saying it right, Ook have hatred for me? And again, if you look back at the very beginning here, Ook, let's look at the definition here. Dude, it's both friend, brother, homie, and opponent, enemy, etc., etc. Kind of like how we say dude. Alright, so basically, this is a villain that, kills, obviously. He'll kill, trying to force Eclipse to make a decision on what to do next. The typical villain stuff. But this guy here, he gets brutal. So luckily he saved one of the vigilant heroes that was supposed to get Eclipse. Yeah, like I said, his girlfriend's a nurse, taking her home. Something about a rock. Guess we'll find out soon. Probably in like issue 3. Pretty sure that's kind of where he got his powers from. I didn't really see it throughout the book. So Mike, if you're listening in on or watching this, let me know in the comments below. I would appreciate it. Sometimes you'll be reading through this stuff and it's like, oh no, you missed something. You know, it ain't the first time it's done that. I've done that before. Alright, so we're just going to kind of skip to the end here, to the scene where this reminds me of from Spider-Man, when Nick Fury abruptly got into his, well, it wasn't his house, it was like the apartment in Spider-Man Far Away From Home. When Nick Fury came in, he told him that he was hard to get a hold of. Well, this is kind of what it reminds me. So he came in, talked to Eclipse, tell him what's going on, you know, obviously no stuff. And convinced him to have that little quote-unquote appointment with him. So I guess we'll find out more in issue 3. Alright guys, so that was Eclipse, the Hawaiian protector, the Hawaiian superhero that you just saw me going through. And also I'd like to show you guys, I got some trading cards here of that Hawaiian protector. So as you can see here, it's all like the same character. There's no like any other characters, you know. It's got like his design like on the front. And it talks about him on the back. So the books, as you can see earlier, I've got a whole, you know, retail stock full of them that I'll be putting up for sale right after this video. Eclipse, very. I like the suit. I like the character. Again, it's very creative. A Hawaiian superhero, kind of, and his powers is mixed with between, you know, how the lunar cycle works through. So it's kind of like dealing with like Mother Nature / the, you know, the moon space wise, you know, kind of like sometimes they say full moon gives off energy. Supposedly what some people have said. It'll put you in like a bad mood or anything like that. Like what you saw in the book, solar flare is what kind of really messed with Eclipse a little bit, which caused that volcanic eruption. So it's just moods really kind of put into effect with this hero as well. And so I'm thinking, see, my prediction is with this solar flare guy, I think it's his brother, because they were talking about Mama and how he's a killer and whatnot. But again, that's probably more on the lines of when issue 3 comes out, whenever that's going to be. And sure enough, I'll be hearing about it. Right. So on a scale of 1 to 10, here from Fraser Comics, definitely going to give it a good rating of 9.5 out of 10. I love the creativity. I love how the story is. Great introduction. It's like I already know what the character is all about already. So Eclipse, definitely an A+ here from Fraser Comics. Definitely might do some fan art over it, my own interpretation of how I can draw Eclipse here. I love drawing, I love creating, as you guys know. If you guys follow up on my content, I do Roblox creativity, animation, draw comics, do all that stuff. But yeah, definitely 9.5 out of 10 here from Fraser Comics. That about wraps up today's episode here on Fraser's Indie Talk. So if you haven't already, like and subscribe this channel, this video. And if you like Eclipse, if you like the superhero, or if you want to say anything to Mike, the creator, Mike Seeley, the creator, please comment below this video, and then check out any links that we've got provided in the description below as well. So now, with that being said, we'll see you guys on the next episode, and thank you for watching.